I never covered this, when Matt Corral visited the Eagles, and, there's always these surprises we could get with this quarterback factory and always upgrading the quarterback position, whether it's the backup position or the starting role. I think the Eagles have really done their due diligence on looking in on situations from Russell Wilson to Deshaun Watson, and obviously having dinner with Kenny Pickett and following Malik Willis all around and going to the Sam Howell Kenny Pickett game last year and last October, November, whatever it was, all the homework that the Eagles have done on quarterbacks. It seems like they really do like Matt Corral a lot. Okay, and I didn't cover this video because I really didn't want to, because I don't want to think this is going to happen, but you're just wasting your time. You're not keeping 3 quarterbacks on this roster, obviously. You're not doing that. So you get Matt Corral outside the first and second round, which I'm hoping to God that's the case. They could draft a quarterback. They could do whatever they want. I mean, back in 2019, they did that too, but they didn't. Clayton Thorson was, what, a 6th-round pick, so, I mean, it wasn't, much. But they got to stay out of the first and second rounds for quarterbacks. And Matt Corral, I just don't get it. You traded with the Saints. You got a first-round pick for next year. So you got 2 first-round picks in 23, and then you got a second-round pick in 24. You got some assurance in case Jalen Hurts does not work out. And if he does work out, then you got 2 first-round picks for 2023 next year that you could do whatever the hell you want with. Okay. It's just, then just say you draft Matt Corral, and then next year, if just say Jalen Hurts plays bad and Minshew is gone and Matt Corral's the backup, then people are going to want Matt Corral to play. And what if Matt Corral goes in there and, plays well? Who knows? And then next year we're at a whole nother, are the Eagles going after a quarterback next year, or they're going to keep Matt Corral? It's just a never-ending story with this quarterback. It's just with this whole quarterback situation. Like, it's just a never-ending story. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. And look, I get the people that don't believe in Jalen Hurts. I got the people that, believe in Jalen Hurts, that think he's going to do a good job this year and really turn, some heads around. And then there's people that are pretty much in the middle, like me. Like, I'm on both sides to it. Like, I understand why people are mad, but I understand why people are rooting for this kid. And I'm going to root for this kid when the season starts. But I'm going to be very critical, very crucial of the things that he does. And, the eye test is really all it's going to show you on if he's going to be that guy. And I understand that Jalen Hurts has only played a year and a half of football. I totally understand that. 3rd year, but only played a year and a half of football. Because really early last year, I wasn't complaining about Jalen Hurts because it was technically still his rookie season. He only played 4 to 5 games in 2020. In the first, 7, 8, 9 games, I had to kind of shut my mouth about it because he's still young. He's still a rookie at that point. He really didn't play a full season yet, but obviously, later at the end of the year, because we added another game to our schedule, and then at the end of the year, I was saying, okay, he's got to start getting his stuff together. He's played a good amount of games so far, and then only had 1 full year, pretty much. When you really think about it, like I said, a year and a half, but I'm giving this time. Like, originally, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to not trade for a veteran quarterback. I wanted to keep Jalen Hurts in the building, build your roster up, and don't start doing this with these quarterbacks. They've been interested almost in everybody at this point. Maybe not everybody, but mostly some of the top guys, if you could even call them top quarterbacks in this draft that shouldn't even be top 10, top 20 picks. Are getting a lot of interest because teams are getting, they're getting really desperate. And the Eagles have seemed very desperate to upgrade this quarterback position. And I'm telling you right now, they draft Matt Corral in even the first, second round. It's just going to be such a waste. It's going to be such a waste of a pick. And I'm tired of it. Like, I'm just tired of just dealing with this, like, they just got to be set with this position. I understand. Like, if you already got the picks next year, then why the hell even talk about quarterbacks still? Why still? And they still did it. I think this was after the trade, and they still have interest in Matt Corral. To me, it makes no sense. Why waste a pick if you could bring in another? If they want to draft him early, then I still don't get it. And then if you draft him early, then what are you going to do? It's like you draft a kid, well, you're going to draft him in the second round and have him sit behind Jalen Hurts this year. And then if Jalen Hurts doesn't pan out, is Matt Corral going to start? I mean, it's just going to be all over again. But then it's like, are you going to give up on a guy in the second round that you just drafted? If he gets drafted in the second round, I mean, if he drafts him in the first round, it's even more embarrassing and more of a waste of a pick, regardless. But, I mean, you have these picks for next year. This Eagles-Saint trade, like I said, solidified the fact that this is insurance, assurance for next year that, God forbid anything happens with Jalen Hurts and he's not going to work out, you have ammo for next year to move up per quarterback. We have to watch to make sure the Saints keep losing games next year, and we play the Saints as well, so that'll be an important game. So we got to get this done. I mean, we got to – not we have to get this done, but we got to go past it. We cannot waste a pick for a quarterback. I mean, we can't. I pretty much said after the Eagles-Saints trade that I was like, I feel a little bit more comfortable they're not going to do it, but I still don't trust Howie Roseman on what he's doing in this draft. I really don't. The whole Matt Corral thing really pisses me off. I mean, all of it does, whether it's Kenny Pickett or – and I'm not bashing the quarterbacks. I'm not bashing them as players, but – in the situation that we're in right now, this team needs we are rebuilding right now, and we are furthest away from being a contender for the Super Bowl, okay, right now, okay? You can win a division. You don't have a very strong division in the NFC East this year. You can get into the playoffs. I think the Eagles can get it done, but they have to upgrade this roster to its full potential, because then if you upgrade this roster by this year and next year, and if Hurts doesn't work out by next year, you got 2 drafts that you already worked with. Your roster could be almost ready by that time. If a quarterback comes in the draft next year and you go draft a new guy, if that's the case. And maybe have to wait another year after maybe 2024 is when we're really going to compete. Give the rookie quarterback next year another year, because, it's a rookie at the end of the day. If you get to the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback, I'd be shocked, but it probably won't happen. So at most expense, if Hurts doesn't work out, this could be a 3-year, rebuild. I can probably say it probably will be 3 years. If Hurts becomes the guy and plays well this year, it might come a lot faster. You know what I mean? Pause. But that's all I'm going to say about that. And it's just something I'm not ready to do. Like, I will be literally pissed off, throwing crap around the room and bashing my freaking head against the wall a million times, because I am just tired of it can't put a smile on your face for Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman to draft a guy in the second round. It's just, you're repeating the same thing again. But if you got picks for next year, why are the picks for next year not for a quarterback? Do they think that Hurts is the guy, but they want to make people think that he's the guy, or make people think that, those picks next year are for a quarterback, but it's really not? It's obviously, it's for the roster, because they're going to give Jalen Hurts another 2 years this season and next season regardless. I mean, he's up for an extension after this year, guys. I mean, this is like crunch time. It's not Jalen's fault. I mean, he got drafted here, number 2. He wasn't supposed to be the starter of this team. I mean, he got drafted as a backup. He was supposed to be a prime backup for the Eagles for 4 to 5 years. I got why they drafted him. I understand why they drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. But because of situations that transpired with Carson Wentz just quitting on this team, as well as everything else going to crap as it is, the Eagles had no choice and have to see what type of value they're getting out of Jalen Hurts. When it comes to a mentality standpoint, I think he's fantastic. And obviously he has to really, the rushing attack is his big strength. He makes the run game work, and, you have to respect Jalen Hurts and what he could do on the read option, and, carrying the ball on himself, being that runner that he's fantastic at. So you got to put into equation that he'll get 10-plus rushing touchdowns and might not throw as well, or might not get too much to throw. I mean, but he's got to take a big step this year regardless. I mean, Devontae Smith needs to, everyone's got to play better. He's got to make everybody look really good, and these passes have to be on point. We can't miss anybody that's, wide open, and Jalen Hurts is too blind to see anybody. So we'll see if he makes that big jump. Okay, so I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this, but I'm telling you right now, I'll be freaking pissed off if they make a move like this in this draft, where this is your future. This draft is your future of the future. You messed this up, you just dug yourself a hole for the next 2 years. I would have to say. I mean, it's to a point. If they get Matt Corral, Gardner Minshew's gone. I mean, that's just the way it is. If Matt Corral is here, Minshew will get traded. I think there was trade interest before the Week 9 trade deadline last year. I think the Panthers were looking for a second, third round pick, and the Eagles didn't pull the trigger on it. Okay, so I think after the draft, if Matt Corral is here or any quarterback is here, regardless of who it is, I think, Minshew is going to be gone because, Minshew is going to have a lot of interest from teams because he could win you games. He might not be that franchise guy. He might not be that guy that gets you to the playoffs, but he will win you some football games. The more he plays, the better he gets. I think he's above average backup quarterback. That's getting paid literally nothing, a little over $900,000 for 1 year left. It's perfect. It's a perfect price for a team to go trade for him. And the Eagles need to, they have to spike up the price a little bit. I'd say a third-round pick is probably fair, and if they can at least get a second, that'd be great. But I think a third is more fair and capable unless they really up the price on it. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much what I want to say about Matt Corral or any quarterback that the Eagles think they're going to be drafting because it's scary. It's really scary. The more picks, the more dangerous or the more bad decisions can happen. But I hope that we turn some things around. I hope we go after a lot of best player available and needs at the same time. I just hope that there's too many good players, a lot of depth at positions of need really badly that the Eagles can go after. And they cannot waste it on a quarterback. So that's all I really want to say, guys. I know it's a long video, so try to pace yourself. So I'm sorry if I kept you for 11 and a half minutes. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about Matt Corral and just about the quarterbacks, Joe. Do you think Howie's going to pull a fast one, get one of these quarterbacks, trade Minshew, or do you think the Eagles are just putting it or the visit for Matt Corral was mostly a smoke screen or, because they can't give away everything that they're doing, but maybe they want teams to believe that they're going after a quarterback. So we'll see what happens, and that's it. So I'll see you guys later. SHAKESQUAD up, follow, peace out, guys. Peace.